Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, March 27th. It is 6:18 right now. Market's going to open in about 12 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right. Looks good. One last thing. And it looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Here. Link sent out. All right. Looks like we are good to go. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. So marking liquidity right there, 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 down there, right there, there, there. All right, going down to the 8-hour chart, marking up liquidity over here. Going down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. One hour. $30-minute. $15-minute. $10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so back to the 1 minute over here. So as you guys can see, I've marked up liquidity. Closest level of liquidity above is going to be over here at 39,855. And the closest level below is going to be at 39,811. So it looks like price here might get hit pre-market for this first level of liquidity. We'll see what happens when the market opens. ATR right now is currently 5, so it's very low. But we'll see what happens shortly. All right, going over here to our clean chart, I'll mark up 6:30 here. Mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to go on the 4-hour time frame. I'll identify structure up here. The structure that's currently producing here, which is pending on the 4-hour. But we'll see what happens when the market opens. Yeah, so it's considered 1-hour structure right here. Going back down to the 1 minute. So this is the 1-hour resistance level. Right there. So there goes our 1-hour chart, or sorry, our clean chart. Our 1 minute here, you can see price is currently rejecting off the 1-hour resistance. It's been bouncing off right here, and currently right here. So we'll see if price breaks through it or if it continues to bounce off of here. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, March 27th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. Looks like about half you guys are here so far. I've marked up liquidity here. First level right there got hit pre-market. We have a clean chart over here. Price is currently in the 1-hour resistance level, going over here to the breakout V3. There's no double body, double wicks, so nothing there yet. Looking over here at the PRB might be for a buy today. And lastly, looking over here at our main chart, let's see if there was any news this morning. So it looks like there was some news at 4 o'clock, very low impact. I'll just mark that up for you guys here. So 4 o'clock news, low impact. And then we have more news at 7:30, which is just gas stock change. Normal news events for Wednesday. And that's about it. So, all right, we're ready to go. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Funmi. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Sadie. Morning, Omar. Morning, CJ. Morning, Nick. Morning, everybody. All right, so people are starting to continue to make their way in. Okay, that's good. All right, so we're getting a double body up here. See if this ends up closing. We still got a lot of time though, so we got about 5 minutes till 8. So I'll just leave this off for now. Price is currently pushing up higher for the pre-market move here. As you guys can see, the first level of liquidity is currently pushing up on its way to full TP right there. The volatility is kind of low right now, so it's probably going to take some time, but it looks like this will probably get hit as we get closer and closer to market open. So there goes the first level of liquidity. Price is currently still within the 1-hour resistance level. And we will continue to follow through. All right, we still got some time here. We got 4 minutes to market open, guys. So no real rush right now. There's not really much news for today, guys, so just keep that in mind. The only news for today is at 7:30, which is the crude oil news. Typically happens on Wednesday. So it's normal, nothing else for today. We have Fed Waller speaking later today in the afternoon, but that's like way later. Looks like liquidity here just got hit to its full TP. There we go. So the first level of liquidity right there got hit. We have the next level of liquidity currently running right now pre-market. So if you guys got here early enough, you guys saw me mark this up just a few moments ago. So first level of liquidity right there, full TP. Next level of liquidity right here is now pushing through even further. And we will just continue to wait here for market open. Hey, Eunice, morning. Morning, Maddie. Morning, William. All right, looks like pretty much everybody that should be here is here for the most part. Hey, Kale, morning. All right, guys, the next level of liquidity right here got hit too. So both levels of liquidity right here got hit for full TP. First level below right here at 39,855, and the next level over here at 39,863. So the first two levels of liquidity have been hit right there. Let's see if there's any more above. It's pretty far up. The next one's going to be over here at 40,025. So the next level is super high up, but these pre-market liquidity here got knocked out straight to full TP, and it's still climbing up even higher. Nice. Say you caught it. So nice work, guys. Yeah, the liquidity here has been hitting a lot lately. So if you guys have been taking, a lot of them have been, especially the ones pre-market. Pre-market ones have been hitting pretty often. At least the first level has been pretty accurate. Yeah, there's not really too much else here at the moment. Pre-market is very bullish for the fundamentals. Retail sentiment is 72% short. And we got market opening over here in about 30 seconds. So liquidity is pretty much done with. Here on our clean chart, you can see price broke past the 1 hour resistance level. Breakout V3 has no double body, double wicks. So there's not going to be any breakout V3s coming up anytime soon. The PRB is looking for a buy right here. And we'll see what happens. Market is about to open in 15 seconds here. Albert said, what is a TP? I think you misspelled that, Albert. You mean TP stop loss, right? I think you just put LS. So the TP stop loss on liquidity, it depends on the person. Typically, you'll do a 10-30 if you're doing a regular scalp. It's just a normal scalp. But some other people just do 10-10. So, I mean, it's up to preference. Some people want to do a 1-to-1, so they do like a 10-10 or a 10-15 or something like that. But it falls under the regular scalp. So it's like a 10-30. But for the most part, it just depends because the liquidity is very tricky. So it's very it's too volatile to be a normal scalp. So some people just like to get in and out very quickly. I've been putting in, let me see open price forever. I'll just leave it at that. So there goes opening price right there. You guys can see the big spike right there. There's no double body, double wick. So no breakout V3s to look at least not yet. All right, the PRB over here, if price ends up swinging down and rejects off the pivot, this could be the first setup for the PRB. So we do have a PRB here setting up. There goes the first PRB right there. PRB setups. We have the rejection right there. You look for space on the next candle. There's no double body, double wicks yet. Yeah, Omar. PRB is 25.25. Welcome back, Steven. Steven's back here with his funded account. So Steven he finally got funded now. And now he's gonna stick to his discipline, hopefully, and remain funded. So yeah, welcome back, Steven. Yeah, you should probably just stick to small contract sizes, Steven, until you get the swing of things, and then of course from there you can always make changes. All right, so we currently have price pushing up right here. I'll mark up structure here on the clean chart once we get closer and closer to like stable levels. Right now, there's no stable levels. Liquidity already got hit here pre-market if you guys are just getting in. First two levels right here got hit. The next level is pretty high at 40,025, so it's not going to hit anytime soon. Right here on the BV3, there's no double body, double wick, so there's no level here to identify. And the PRB over here is already setting up. So we currently have the first level right there where price came down, rejected off the pivot. We're going to get space on this next candle, it looks like. And then you look for the retracement back down, rejection, and continuation back up from there. So as you guys can see, the PRB has been hitting pretty much every day for the past 2 weeks. It's been pretty solid. It just works better because it works better in the current market conditions because it doesn't require momentum. The problem with the BV3 is that we'd have pending momentum pretty much all day, never close. Like yesterday. So if you guys were on the live session yesterday, we had no momentum for like the entire session. So for like a good hour and a half, it was like one momentum, and then it switched to one other momentum, and from there, nothing else came up. So, well, that's kind of the difference between the two strategies. One of them uses the pivots, this one uses momentum. Um, give or take. Sometimes one works, one and the other doesn't. Sometimes they both work, sometimes they both don't. But for the most part, they have their own characteristics that we follow. But nothing here right now. So PRB hasn't came back down yet. Again, if you guys are looking to take the PRB, it's already rejected off the pivots here. You have space on these next candles. The next step for here is you're looking for price to come back down, reject off the pivot, and come back up higher. Like an offset W, basically. That's for the PRB. Breakout V3 looks like it may be setting up right here as well. We have a double body rejection right there. So the BV3 might be setting up for a sell. Possibly. PRB is kind of high. PRB is setting up for a buy, so it's going to be opposite. Other than that, there's nothing here yet. So we're mainly looking for the momentum here for the breakout V3. And then we'll be looking for price to come down and swing back up for the PRB here. So it's got to sit tight. Just got to sit tight and wait for something here to play through. All right, there's nothing here yet. There's nothing on our main chart. As you can see, price is super far above. There's no momentum. Nothing really there to work with. The good thing about today's market is that we're actually getting some direction here. So the higher high has been pretty much pushed further. There's no longer a BB3 here setting up, at least not yet. So we're having some direction today. I'm hoping the direction continues. Otherwise, looks like we might be back into a range like we had for the past 2 days. Monday market was in a heavy range. Yesterday market was in heavy. It was in a heavy range, but then it started to move directional in a very, very slow movement. The ETR right now is kind of low. It's currently at 13, as you guys can see below. It's kind of similar to yesterday's market. We have some direction, but the ATR is super low, so it's going to be hard for us to really catch something worthwhile, of course. All right, the PRB still hasn't set up yet. As you can see, price is right here. We're looking for price to come down, reject off the pivots, and come back up. Same pattern, but nothing there yet. Again, the ATR is very low. Now, let's see. Nixon would personally prefer to wait for it until it pushes down, then catch on its way back up with a BV3. Would fall in line with sentiment, and if it pushes down hard enough, might build up some short sellers. Yeah, exactly. Akil's asking what's the PRB TP stop loss? It's 25.25. Same as the BV3. All the breakouts have the same TP stop loss right now. That's just the market conditions that we're currently in. So until the market gets more volatile or until it gets slower, it's going to stick at 25.25. If it gets higher, we'll change it to something higher. Right now, it's just at 25.25. And I'll let you guys know if it changes. All right, PRB over here still has not set up. You can see it's still climbing up higher. There's a clean chart. I'll come back to markup structure here once it's established. There's not really much structure here. There's a higher high that keeps getting pushed up, but there's no establishment of it there yet. It's still it's continuing to just keep pushing. Omar is asking, have we taken multiple setups daily this year? Yeah, this year, yeah, but not this month. This month has just been the BV3. Last month we applied the PRB and the BV3, and the month before that we applied all the scalps that we typically do. But for now, I'm just mainly taking the BV3. We did this mainly for the mentoring group, but I mean, it works so good that that's all I'm doing now. I started doing one strategy to show people that, you can be profitable off just one strategy because everybody wants to do too much, of course. And yeah, I mean, everyone passed. So once everyone's stuck to one strategy, everyone's been passing every day, everyone's been getting funded, getting payouts, etc. That's kind of what I've stuck to. It's just easier for me too, so I don't miss the trade. When you're looking at multiple strategies and you're getting so many questions and people are asking so many things at once, you tend to get distracted and you miss entries. So yeah, the only one that I'm doing now is the BV3. I'm still identifying other entries, but I'm not taking them myself. Yeah, exactly. Sadie said one good trade is all you need. Yeah, that's all I do. I do one good trade, but I use proper risk. It's easier to calculate risk too when you're doing just one trade because you can just bank everything on that one trade for that one day versus taking a bunch of trades and possibly blowing your account because you're not keeping track of your trailing drawdown. Yeah, there's a lot of other entries that hit, like the liquidity over here, this is good, and this has been hitting pretty much every day for the past couple months. But the problem with taking multiple strategies is that you forget that you have your trailing drawdown, and that can lead to blown accounts very quickly. You're fine, Sam. You're all good. Yeah, exactly. Because the probabilities are already set up. We have the data to identify what the probabilities are. And from there, we can just calculate our risk so that, win or loss, it's fine. Like our win-loss ratio right now for this month of March is very high. We've only taken one strategy every day, the BV3, which is what I'm looking for right now. We have 13 wins and 4 losses, 76.5% win rate for a 1-to-1 for a total profit of 225 points, which is 2,225 pips, which is equal to some pretty good profit there. You just got to keep in mind. So each point is $5. So 225 times how many contracts you have. So 225 times 5, that's 1,125. And then if you're taking a 10 contract, that's 11,250. And this is pretty much how everyone passed their challenge within the past, month or 2 months, because the profit goal is 9,000. So if you just took one trade, if you only took the BB3, no matter whether it was a win or loss, over time you would have passed. That's kind of how everyone automatically passed over time. John said, NT put me in a trade, can't close it. It's weird. If you're on Apex, then you should probably go to there's a flatten all button on there. So you can log into Apex and then you can flatten all from there. It's weird. Yeah, it's never happened to me. Also, if you're using a copier, there's a flatten all button on there. There's a couple buttons, I think, on the dashboard as well to flatten everything. Yeah, on Apex, there's an emergency close button, just flatten all. Hopefully you got in for a buy, an accidental buy there, because it is climbing up. All right, so we have a double body right here that's setting up for the breakout V3. PRB still hasn't set up yet, but we do have a double body right here that has lined up. Price is a bit overextended right now, so it might be time for it to come back down to opening price. So we'll see what happens here. Price is rejecting off the pivot over here. We'll see if it actually rejects off it. If this candle right here rejects off the pivot, this is going to be the PRB. Currently have bullish momentum, bullish trend, bullish, etc., bullish trend meter. So you're looking for that rejection off the pivot right there. No rejection, so there's no entry here yet for the PRB. Again, if price comes down and rejects off the pivot, possible PRB there. Otherwise, if we get a sell signal here, this could be setting up for the breakout B3. ATR is back up to 15, so this is looking good. Again, we gotta wait for the sell signal to close. You can see here that it just disappears. So it's got 30 seconds left on this candle, which is a lot of time. And you just gotta sit tight. The PRB right here, you're looking for price to reject off this lower pivot, pivot number 2. Steven said, patience, Steven, patience. Yeah, get some deep breathing in, Steven. All right, so there's no sell signal yet. Okay, so the sell signal did close. If this next candle right here is red, this is going to be the breakout V3. Again, you guys got to wait because there's like a lot of time on the candle, so 50 seconds. I'm not really going to take a look at it until it closes or gets close to close, like in the last 15 to 10 seconds, because this candle could really like go anywhere, right? So just gotta sit tight and wait. I don't think there's a PRB entry just yet. All right, so again, you need this candle to close red in order for there to be an entry. We have 20 seconds left on it. It's a lot of time. Does not look like it's going to close red, which is perfectly fine with me because I personally would prefer to take a buy anyways. So again, we're just watching it here. Candle has about 7 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, no entry. All right, so no entry there. For the BB3, at least not yet. We have another pending buy signal here. So as you can see, price is now finally going into its consolidation. This is what we were expecting, right? This is exactly what happened yesterday. This is exactly what happened on Monday. We had a directional move here on open, and then price goes into some heavy consolidation range, which is no surprise, right? Like I said, like I say every week pretty much, Mondays and Tuesdays are what we call feeler days. Those days, you can identify how the market's likely to move for the rest of the week. Pretty much every day, it's been going sideways. It has a directional move on open, and then after that's done, it just ends up going sideways for like the entire session. I'm hoping that the market stays volatile. So I'm okay with it going sideways in a range, but not consolidation, right? Like you guys saw yesterday, that was like a crazy consolidation. It went sideways and it squeezed for like a good 30 minutes. And then it broke out and then it went back into the range. It didn't really do anything. So yeah, just keep that in mind. There's no double body, double wicks on the bottom side. So we can't take any bias here yet. I'm hoping price comes down further, or, you know, if a range is establishes a new high here, and then it comes down further, and it comes back up. So here's the PRB. The PRB actually just came up right here, guys. So I just noticed that on this last candle. So the PRB is currently running right here. I'm not in this position. I mean, if you guys want to take it, you know, feel free to take it, but I'm not going to take it myself. I don't take the PRB. I take the breakout B3. So the trade's currently running right now for the PRB for anybody who decides to take it. Other than that, this could be in line with a pivot scalp. So we currently have a pending buy signal over here. If the buy signal closes, this will be a pivot scalp entry as well. So that's the second confluence right here. The trend's bullish, so this is the direction that I would like to trade in, but I'm not in this PRB here because, as I said, I'm only taking the breakout V3. So far, we have 2 liquidity pushes here that hit full TP. 2 liquidity right there, already full TP. We currently have the PRB, which is currently pushing in profit. And if we get a buy signal here, that's going to be a pivot scalp and a momentum scalp entry. So I'm not taking any of these trades here. I'm only looking for my breakout V3. But again, like I said, if this candle here closes with the buy signal, this is going to be a pivot scalp and also a momentum scalp. If it pushes past this higher high and closes above it, this is going to be a triple confluence. So a lot of confluences here. PRB is currently pushing in profit. But again, there's no breakout B3 here yet. So it's pushing up higher right there. I'll just put an alert here so we can come back to it. And they still haven't fixed their alerts. Okay, full TP right there for the PRB. So if you guys stick to PRB, nice work, full TP. And also the pivot scalp right here, full TP as well. So those are the two entries right there that I identified for you. If you guys have the indicators, you guys are able to identify this yourself. But it played out perfectly. We had the pivot scalp, momentum scalp. We had the PRB full TP. We have two liquidities here, full TP as well. So 4 back-to-back wins for the day, 2 liquidities, 1 PRB, 1 pivot scalp, 1 momentum scalp. And this right here could be a high-low scalp, actually. So if this candle breaks and closes past this higher high, this could be another high-low scalp right there. So this high is no longer valid because price broke and closed above it. Now we're going to continue looking for the next continuation. If this here closes with a green candle, this is going to be considered a breakout V3 continuation because there's a buy signal and a green candle. However, this isn't going to meet the confluences because there's no double body, double wick down here. So nothing there yet. V1 pattern here could be playing. If this candle here closes red, then this here will satisfy the double body rejection for a V1. But again, we just got to wait. This candle here hasn't closed. So we have 30 seconds left on it. It's a lot of time. Here's Steven's profits for the day. Nice work, Steven. 315 for the day. Solid. Solid work right there, Steven. All right, Steven. Yeah, if you reach your goal, great. Congrats to you. Yeah, so Steven has a pretty realistic goal. Steven just wants to make a couple $100 a day on his funded account. And then from there, you're just going to keep stacking on more funded accounts. Nice work, Steven. All right, so we got nothing else here. And you just got to stay disciplined, Steven. If that's your goal, then that's your goal, right? Don't get greedy. So I'll keep identifying entries on here. And if you guys want to take them yourself, take them yourself. But for me personally, I'm taking the breakout V3. I got to stick to my game plan, which is breakout V3 only, even though there's like a bunch of entries that are coming up. So right here, price is at a new higher high, but there is no double body, double wick. Here is our clean chart. I'm going to mark up this higher high right here just to identify structure so that you guys can see it. This is the 1 minute resistance level, so we can see the fake out. The reason why I'm doing this is so that we can identify the fake outs right here, right? Fake out, and then pull back into the range. All right, so we're getting the consolidation range right here, which is completely fine. This is what I expected. And we can, now that I have this 1 minute resistance level, we can identify where the fake outs are happening, which is going to be right here. No double body, no double wick, nothing else here for us. I'll just put this over here real quick. Steven's profits. So yeah, Steven just got funded yesterday. You guys can see his certificate right here. He's got funded 150K, and this is his first profit on his funded account. Nice work, Steven. All right, so we have another double body right here, but we don't have a pending buy signal, so we won't be able to take anything there, at least not yet. So we have a double body rejection right here, but the buy signal is already active, so it's not really useful to us, at least not here. I'm hoping the ATR stays up. It's currently at 14 right now. So it dropped down a little bit, went from 15 to 16, now down back down to 14. Yeah, we just need to get a double body rejection or something here to set up for our breakout V3. There's no news today, so there's not going to be much of a catalyst. There's news at 7:30, which is gas stocks, oil stocks, but not really useful for us. So this level here has been invalidated. I'm gonna take that off. Continue following the ATR down here. I actually want the sell signal to come up so that we can have some space between this area. Maybe come down a little bit and come right back up. So I would like the sell signal here to close. Sell signal here would be ideal. And we'll see what happens next. Ah, man, this market kind of sucks. We thought the market before sucked when prices were ranging, but this market really sucks because it's so slow. I'm not used to seeing a slow market right now because we're in the middle of March. March is usually a pretty busy month for us. But we're in a different type of year, so every year is going to be slightly different. There's always something going on in the world that's causing volatility or causing a slow market. This year is the election year, but there's also a lot of other things going on as well behind the scenes. So we have a double body here that's currently pending. We'll see if it actually closes. If it closes right here, perfect. We'll see for price to push back up higher, and it does not look like it's going to close as we want it to. So if it doesn't, that's fine as well. Let it dig a little deeper. I'll just leave it as is because if the candle does close green, there's going to be a level there. If not, that's also fine. Because then we'll just get a deeper push to the bottom right here. Okay. So that level there's been invalidated. Yeah, there's no level right there. But yeah, this is typically what we've been used to. So for the past couple of days, we've been getting this like sideways movement. There's no difference here. This is what happened on Monday. This is what happened on Tuesday. This isn't the best type of market to trade in because once the volatility has died out, you're kind of screwed because you're going to be holding on to this position for like a good while once you get into a position. Like the PRV yesterday took a while to hit, but it hit, right? There wasn't any volatility, but eventually it did hit. Kind of same with the BB3 here. If this entry doesn't come up anytime soon and volatility gets lower, it's not going to be a fun ride because we're going to have to hold on to it for a while. There's also no news. There's no catalyst pushing price around, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because we're probably not going to get stuck in some manipulation like we did on Monday. If you guys remember the trade from Monday, I showed you guys that we got caught in manipulation where market reacted to the news, but then eventually it just kept dropping where it was supposed to go and it hit our TP. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. You get no volatility, but you don't get much manipulation. Yeah, exactly. Drew said it took news to hit yesterday, though. Yeah. So news is a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because it pushes volatility into the market. A lot of people are trading during those times. However, it also causes manipulation. So on Monday, we got caught in manipulation. Yesterday, there was no entry. It's just super flat. Let's see. Hawk is asking if there's a high-low momentum scalp at 653. So, yeah, that is. So there's a higher high right there. This candle broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. And that would be considered a high-low momentum scalp. Yeah, it looks like it's not at full TP yet, so it's still technically running at the moment. Looks like it's going to come right back down. So this right here is a high-low momentum scalp that Hawk mentioned. As you guys know, if you guys have my indicators, you guys have my strategies, you guys can apply this on your own. Higher high right there. Sell momentum broken close past pivots 1 and 2. This right here is a high-low momentum scalp. For me personally, I think this is a little risky because the trend up is so strong. But I mean, for this specific strategy, it's meant for a ranging market, right? Market is kind of ranging right here, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of tricky when it's pushed up so far. If the market's been ranging for a while, like say for example, it was ranging the entire day, then it would be okay, right? Because you don't have like some sort of bias. Like right now, the bias right now is still for a buy because it's so bullish. And then on top of that, we have retail sentiment, which is very strong. The high-low momentum scalp is a type of strategy that works good during like the winter years. So winter months. So the summer months and the winter months are like very good for the high-low momentum scalp because those are ranging markets. But like months like March, like spring, so we'll say like spring to mid-fall, it's like directional markets. So for these types of markets, this is where like the breakout V3 and PRB and like all these directional strategies work very well. So it just depends on the market. But for me personally, I don't typically like to apply the high level momentum scalp during directional markets. Like if the high level momentum scalp happened like later on in the session, like right now the range kind of just started. But if it happened like say 30 minutes from now, then I'd consider it more of a safer move. Because from there you'll be able to mark up structure and you'll be able to see that okay, price is for sure ranging side to side. Like if I was to mark up structure here, you can see that price is kind of ranging a bit, but it could be better, right? It's just been ranging for like the last maybe 15 minutes or so. All right, so there's no double body, double wicks here right now. Again, we're still waiting for the double body, double wick so that we can have some sort of opportunity here for entry. But again, there's just nothing here at the moment. Price just continues to, for the most part, go back and forth. We're not close. We're getting closer to the next level of liquidity. It's at 40,025, which is right there. So we are getting closer to the next level of liquidity. That's going to be the next target price point if price does decide to climb up higher. So that is the next level of liquidity there. Man, this market sucks. It just sucks because it's hard to maneuver through these types of conditions. Also, the ATR is starting to drop down a little bit. ATR is now at 13. Like there's not really much you can do when price is going sideways like this unless look for a sideways movement, like price to go from range to range. There's no lower low yet. So once there's a new lower low, I'll mark up structure here on the clean chart. But you can see right here, it's pretty much just sitting at this 1 minute resistance level. Right. So we can't really identify the consolidation is actually right here at the 1 minute resistance. This is where the actual consolidation is happening because there's no lower low. Once there's a lower low here, I'll draw a structure and then you guys can see, okay, that's where the range is happening. But because there's no lower low, price is really just sitting above this area, right? It's sitting at the 1 minute resistance. So this is the consolidation range, like within this little zone right here. And eventually it's going to break out. It's going to break out below or it's going to break out above. But for now, it looks like it's just going to keep pulling back into the range. It'll drop a little bit, pull back into the level, pull back a little bit, go back to the level, push up a little bit, go back to the level. But this is going to be the midway point right here, right down the middle. It'll just fake out in both directions. You can see over here, fake out above, fake out below, fake out above. And it's just going to keep going back to this middle area right here. So I really would prefer to have a lower low somewhere. If this drops past this level right here, it's going to be a lower low. So currently it's a high low. But if it drops past this level right here, we're going to have a lower low at that point. And then at that point, we can establish the range once it's established. So it just has to come back below this point. You'll see this turn into a lower low. And there you go. See that? I already knew it was going to happen. So it's now establishing the actual range here now. Did I don't even know if this thing hit. It didn't hit him. Oh, it did hit. So yeah, right there, Hawk. There goes your because you can see that the range is now established, right? Now that the range has been established, it's been going sideways for like 20 minutes now. You can see that it's okay. Now it's actually going to range. And this is what I was talking about. So I wouldn't enter right away, but I would probably enter later, once it's been established. So there's 3 entries over here that hit already. There goes a high level momentum scalp that I mentioned. And then now price is dropping below and it's establishing a lower level. So it all goes hand in hand. Like everything that I look at here, all my confluences, all my analysis, all my theories, they kind of go hand in hand because everything here kind of lines up with each other. Again, like I said, if price drops back below this point, it's going to establish a lower low. Once this lower low has been established, meaning say this lower low closes and then 5 candles close after it, then at that point, we can draw a structure down here on the clean chart. Because once we have structure there, it will establish the range. So you can see this is the upper level of the range right here. And once that lower low has been established, which it hasn't established yet, it'll show you, okay, like this is where the range is actually happening. This is the main range. That's why it's important to focus on the lower lows and the higher highs, because that's where it's going to draw structure. That's where you draw structure. You can't just draw it every high low, because if you do that, you'll have a bunch of zones everywhere. It's not going to make sense. All right. Got price coming down right here. I'm just looking for that double body, double wick. Once we get the double body, double wick down here, that's going to establish the floor. It's going to be the reversal pattern that we're looking for. And then from there, we're going to try to catch it on its way back up. But if price decides to climb back lower, target price point for this here is going to be opening price, of course. So if it drops lower, that's where target price point is. Opening price. There's no double body, double wick yet. There's nothing here really to work with in the moment. But again, here are the entries that came up. So we had a pivot scalp, momentum scalp right here. We had a high-low momentum scalp right here. We had the PRB hit full TP over here. We had 2 liquidities right here, full TP over here as well. And now I'm looking for the breakout V3 over here as price continues to kind of just move along. So I actually wanted to come down further. There's no double body down here yet, so there's nothing for us to take at the moment. Looking for this here to drop lower. Once it drops lower, I'll be looking for continuation. Let's see, CNBC just reported something. Thanks, Brian. Heads up. So it's the stocks rise as the S&P tries to snap out of the 3-day losing streak. So it's basically saying that price is pushing up. And that's why price came down right here. It literally said that at 7 o'clock. As soon as CNBC reported that the stock market is going up at 7 o'clock right here, price got manipulated back down. That's like it's like Jeff's psych meter, right? It's like CNBC reports something, and it's like psych, price comes right back down from 7 o'clock. It's like literally where it comes from. Which is fine. I want it to drop lower because I need that lower, I need the double body anyways. So I want this to come down a bit lower. But that's key. So like you guys should always pay attention to CNBC. A lot of people don't believe in manipulation, but the manipulation is real, right? They released here at 7 o'clock. You can see the timestamp as well. The timestamp was right here, 7 o'clock. Literally, they said the stocks were going up. As soon as they said stocks were going up, it came right back down. So the CNBC indicator is pretty true. It follows through. So I mean, I've seen some people in the past where they kind of just follow CNBC, they wait for that news article, and then they do the opposite, which is something that you can do as well. If that's something that you want to do and you want to trade manipulation, you can. I mean, it works for the most part. It's just tricky because it's not always going to work. But if you do that and you wait for CNBC to report every single day, you can get a quick profit from that. Because you could have easily taken something like this here, right? Like this would have been a nice little drop. And if you think about it, if you went for 250 points, like say the news was released at 7 o'clock, you could have caught this down for a quick 25 points or so. Like you can easily have done that as a news breakout, basically, right? Um, Yeah, exactly. Tom said whatever you call it, manipulation or something else, something happened. Yeah, exactly. And it always happens whenever CNBC reports. Kenny said NQ and ES are dumping hard AF right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming they all reacted to the news event. Akil's asking why did that happen though? I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same reason why people like watch the news, right? Like if you were to watch the news and you see that a war is like going on, like in the other on the other side of the world, you're gonna believe it, right? So when CNBC reports something, everybody believes it. They say, okay, stock market's going up. What happens when you see CNBC report that? The normal person is gonna buy stocks, right? They're gonna buy into the market because they want to chase that hype. But what the market makers do is they do the opposite. They like pay CNBC to report stuff like that. It's like fake news, right? It's like fake news. You like people can buy the media. They report something, and then as soon as people jump onto that, the market makers do the complete opposite, and they make money off the people who just bought in because they buy in. These little retail sellers or retail buyers, they buy in and they just dump price down and stop them all out. It's like a free money grab for them. Um, and it's been like that for years. It's funny because I've been saying this for like the past 10 years. I've been trading with you guys for a long time now. I've been saying this for like the past 10 years. And then a lot of these like meme groups, like the like Wall Street bets and stuff, they started to make memes about it. And I'm like, this isn't new. We've known about this for years and years and years now. But people didn't really want to believe it. And now that it's actually more obvious, people believe it. And it all comes with like repetition because we look at CNBC every single day, right? We catch the pattern. The pattern is they report something, market typically does the opposite. And um, and that's just how it is. I mean, that's just the market. Typically, that's just some things in the market can't be explained. They just happen, but they're not always going to happen the way that you expect it. Yeah, exactly. Nick said manipulation. These are computer softwares designed to make people lose by using their psychology against them. Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Omar is asking, do you ever look at Dow Jones chart on CNBC and look at companies' performance to get overall market sentiment? I mean, not really, because not one company is going to make the biggest difference, right, Omar? That's why you have the overall right there. You just look at the number here. If it's above 100 or below 100, you know it's positive or negative, right? You don't have to look at every single company. You just look at the numbers here. Threshold is 100 points. So if it's above 100 points and it stays above there, like for example, right here, it's at 280, right? It's not going to come down anytime soon. It's going to stay up there. If it's below 280, then you're going to expect price to be low. So I don't look at them individually. It just doesn't make sense. We're not trading a stock here. We're trading an index, right? So you don't really care like what's happening like with a few stocks. You care what's happening as a whole. Um, so with it being so high, I'm expecting price to kind of recover and swing back up at some point. This is like a dip that people talk about. That's why I'm looking for the double body. I'm looking for the dip to finish dipping. Still dipping right here. I'm looking for that double body and a swing back up. So that's what I look at. I look at the basket as a whole. I don't look at individual stocks. We used to do that before, but it was kind of irrelevant because it doesn't really make a big difference unless there's like one super stock that's holding everything down. But for the most part, that doesn't usually happen. It doesn't usually happen until it'll balance out. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I said, Omar. This is pointless. Like, why would you look at this, right? You're like, oh, this stock's doing really good. Okay, I'm gonna buy, right? Well, this stock's doing really bad. I'm gonna sell. Doesn't make a difference. That's why you're looking at it as a whole. We're not trading individual stocks here. We're trading the whole index. So it doesn't matter what each stock is doing. What matters is what they're doing as a whole. That's why you care about the whole number. This number right here is all of these stocks. It doesn't matter if one's going up, one's going down. Unless one's like super heavy, like this is up 30 points, which happens like maybe once a year, then okay, maybe you might want to look at that. But for the most part, everything here is pretty much balanced, right? You have one here that's +5, you have one here that's -5. So it's pretty much irrelevant. All right, so we have a double body here now. Perfect. That's what we're looking for. This candle has 20 seconds left on it. Yeah, no, exactly, Omar. That's what I was explaining to you earlier. This is the whole. So the whole is this number right here. You don't have to look at the individuals. This is the whole that you're talking about. I don't know if you realize that, but this is This is the index. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So that's the whole number. All right, so there's no double body here, guys. It dropped down a little further. If this pushes up again, this could be the double body right here. This is fine. I don't mind it that it continues to drop like this. I'm going to be looking for this here to close. So I'll just leave it alone for now. 30 seconds left on it. Let's see. Lucas is asking if you get a free moment away from the charts. Can you show me where I can find my trailing drawdown? I don't think I did. But the last trades I tried to enter were rejected on TradingView. You'd have to open it up on TraderBait, Lucas. So you'd go to TraderBait, the web app. You would, well, after you log in, you click on the plus that's on the top left. You're going to see one that says accounts. You'll drag that onto your workspace. And then under your columns, you're going to turn on distance to drawdown. And that's going to show you where your trailing drawdown's at. All right, so we got the double body right here. We're now looking for the buy signal. Once we get that buy signal, we'll look for the correction back up. All right, so price swung below. Now it's trying to swing right back up, which is perfectly fine. You can see here that the pivots are kind of irregular. They're not really bullish or bearish, but it looks like if price does swing back up, this is going to be back into a bullish trend. So we're just looking for that buy signal. Once we get the buy signal there, we can start looking for possible entry. But again, we have to have that buy signal first. The volatility here is not super bad. It's at 15 right now, so it's decent. We'll see if we get this correction back up. If price pushes past this momentum right here, we're probably going to get a buy signal. And there we go, pending buy signal right there. So I'm hoping this candle pushes past this momentum right here, basically past this level, because if it pushes past the level, it's going to be a pretty good momentum to the upside. It's basically filling the gap right here and pushing up stronger. There's 30 seconds left on this candle, so it's a lot of time. Let's see if this here pushes up a little stronger. As soon as I said that. So the candles are a little blocky right now, as you guys can see. This thing shot up and it spiked back down and it shot right back up and now it spiked back down. Yeah, it looks like this here might be a little flat. Or it might spike up at the last second. We'll see. All right, so it didn't push up yet. Again, we have a pending buy signal here. Same thing, we're still looking for price to get past this level right here. Because if we get past the level, then the momentum is going to be pretty decent. All right, so let me draw the lower structure here. So this is the range that price is currently in right now. This is the 1 minute resistance. This is the 1 minute support. All right, so as I said earlier, I kind of want this to push past this momentum here, because if it does, then this is going to be a pretty good momentum to follow. But as you guys can see, it's having trouble holding its place. Pushes up a little bit, it's knocked back down. It needs to get some power from the bottom end to push right through. So I'll just leave that right there so that you guys can see. This is, it's just setting up for another consolidation. It's having trouble getting past this price point right here. Again, right there, it's testing it again. Again, we need this to push up and close above it. If it closes above it, we're going to get that buy signal. Once we get that buy signal, we can start looking for opportunities for entry. The ATR is down again. ATR is back down to lower 14s. Man, this freaking market sucks. The volatility is so low. Yeah, there's no power behind it because the volatility is so low. We're getting another double body right here. I'll leave it alone right now because, I'll just draw the level there. This is just the consolidation zone now. See, he said we need Trump. Yeah, I know. Once Trump starts campaigning and stuff, yeah, we're probably gonna get some crazier movement in the market. Just the volatility is too low. Okay, now we have another double body right here again, it looks like. So there's just double bodies and double bodies producing. Keep an eye out on the ATR. As you guys can see, ATR is super low. If this candle here closes green, this is going to be another double body below. So price is, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty much a squeezing. If price drops any lower, then this is no longer going to be our double body, and we're going to have to wait for the next one. Oh, man. All right, we got a couple of seconds left on this candle. Let's see if the volatility actually pushes through or if it just ends up staying flat again. All right, so we have another double body here. We have a pending sell signal right there. I mean, pending buy signal. Again, this buy signal is probably not going to close until it pushes past this level. It's got to push past the level and close. You can see it just came up right there, had trouble getting past this level. The momentum is pending still. Again, if this doesn't push past this level, I don't think, or it doesn't get pushed past this price point, I don't think the buy signal will ever close. It's just going to be pending forever. The volatility isn't like horrible either. It's at 14 right now. It's not great, but it's not horrible. Like it's above 13 right now. As long as the ATR stays above 13, I think we're going to have at least some volatility there. Eventually, I think the price will just push. I think when we least expect it, price is just going to push up and then close up there. Okay, so I can see what's happening now. What's happening right here is price is churning. It's churning back and forth. It's trying to lock in some sellers and buyers. And then eventually it's going to break out, hopefully to the upside, right? But it's just churning right now. This whole area right here is churning. It's consolidating within this area. It's stacking up buyers and sellers on both sides. Let's take a look at retail sentiment. You guys have seen this before, and you guys know that this happens pretty often. The market makers are looking to make their move. So it's still 74% short. This indicates that 74% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So price is kind of dumping around a bit, trying to give these sellers some. So you see this big red candle right here. I'm sure when a lot of people see this, they try to hop into sells. And I'm sure you guys have seen that before. And you guys have probably been victim of that before, where you guys have seen a big candle happen and then you start to bandwagon onto that trade. Like, oh, this looks good, right? You see a big red candle and everyone tries to chase it. As soon as they chase it, they flip it upside down and then they go right back up. The only problem with this here is that we don't have a double body anymore. The double body here has been invalidated. So actually need price to drop lower. Either give me a double body or double wick down here, something to provide me that opportunity for the reversal pattern. So I need something here to give me that level that we're looking for. So even if it comes down a little more, we'll get the double wick. But right now, there's no double body at the moment. Oh, we got a little more right there. Price push down to this level here. It might push down and reject off the opening price. That might be the case here too. So level there is now invalidated. There's no longer going to be, we can't use that. We have to go off the next one. However, I'm going to keep this here as a support level. So on the clean chart, I'm going to leave this as a support level right here, because this support level right here is going to identify the fake out, right? We had a fake out up here. And what do you think is going to happen right here? Another fake out, pull back into the range. So we got a double body right there. I'm actually glad price dropped even lower, because now we have the double body right here. Very, very low. All right, so price is down to here right now. Let's see. See what happens next. So price is still down below. The lower low is getting pushed down lower, which is completely fine with me. The ATR is super high right now, actually. It's currently at 16. So the ATR is pretty decent. So this is in the fake, this is considered fake out area for me. Price came down, we tested off the 1 hour resistance down here. Let's see if we get that reversal back up. So it's currently at the 1 hour resistance. Yeah, exactly. Josh did going on a stop loss hunt right now. And then I can see it swing right back up. The good thing about this is that it's creating liquidity up here. So as price comes down, all these sellers are hopping into the market. There's liquidity being set up at pretty much all these highs. So I can see a correction back up. If this candle here closes green, we'll have a double body right here. If not, it's fine. We'll continue looking. All right. So I think this is where price is going to stop. It's probably going to keep bouncing around this area, but I think price will probably stop here. We have a double wick now. It's a double wick, but it's not at a low. So this is not going to be useful for us, at least not yet. Yeah, Omar said we're also in a 4 hour and 1 hour demand area. We should easily push back up all the way to the sell side liquidity. Yeah, I can see that too. Let's see, PC said oil news coming up. Is it important for today? Not really. Not necessarily. I didn't see any news articles about it. It's just going to be the regular oil news, the typical Wednesday news, oil news that comes out. All right, so we need to get a new low. I need price to drop down at least a little lower. Once it drops down a little lower, we'll look for that double body down here. But at the moment, not ready for it to push up because we don't have that double body down here or double wick, at least not yet. All right, we got price pushing up right here. You know, if anything, price might just consolidate around this area before it swings back up. But again, I want it to push lower because this here is not useful for us. So I'd like it to like maybe spike down real quick. Okay, never mind. It's not going to be useful for us at all because we have a high here now. So it's kind of pointless at this point. And we've been in a pretty tricky market this week, as you guys can see. This market's super tricky because we get a bunch of volatility right here. We get some flat line consolidation for like about 30 minutes to like 40 minutes, and then it comes back down, and then it goes back into consolidation. So there's not really much consistency in the market. The thing that I do like is that the ATR is a bit higher. I don't mind when there's range or consolidation if the ATR is high because we can still get entry and some movement from there. But if this thing's like down to like 12 ATR, then it sucks because you're going to get consolidation and you're going to get no movement. So I'm glad that market here is still moving because we're getting highs and lows. Like highs and lows just keep getting established. If you guys remember from Monday and Tuesday, we had highs and lows, but they were happening at like every other candle, which was like horrible. That's like the worst to get caught in. All right, so we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here as we wait for a new level to establish. See if the retail sentiment went up at all. It's still at 74, so sentiment hasn't changed very much. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently, they're up 200 points, so it's still very bullish. We got the news at 7 o'clock over here coming up in about 2 minutes. Price is pushing up higher right here. So for me personally, I actually like when price goes into a bigger range. So you can see how we have the range from above and below right here. I like when price is in a range because this means we can trade in either direction, right? We are not only looking for buys here. So for example, we didn't get the buy here, of course, But if price pushes up higher, we can still get price to establish a double wick up here and come back down. So we can still trade for a sell and we can still trade for a buy. It doesn't really make a difference for us, especially when we're within the range. And by range, I mean like the market range. So the range is up here and the range is now down here. These are the two levels of range. So let me just take this off and I'll show you guys where the range is at. So this is the range for today. This is the high for today, New York session. And this is the low for today, New York session. So I don't mind trading in between this area here because price can easily go in either direction since we have a range set up now. All right, so with price down below here, I know there's another level down here, but I'm not going to draw because this is the 1 hour resistance already. And we'll just leave it at that. So it looks like this might be the case here where this may just be the, this just may be the new range down here. So you got news coming up right here in about a minute. I don't think it's going to affect the market too much. PC set up the 5 minute showing a double body. Nice. So double body from the bottom side right there. All right, that's good. That's cool, and that works for us. The only problem here is that we have another buy signal, so we're not going to be able to take a buy anytime soon. All right, we got the news candle coming up in about 5 seconds. Surprised we haven't had an entry today. Well, I'm surprised we didn't have an entry yesterday. I think it went like, we've gone like at least 2 months with an entry every single day. All right, so here goes the news candle. Follow that, delete that. All right, so we have the news candle right here. I'll just take this off. Not useful for us. All right, so this is not what I wanted to happen. The ATR is back down at 13. Hoping it picks back up. 7:30 right now. We have 30 minutes till 8. Price is pretty much back down to the lower levels of liquidity right here. We're getting some volatility here now, picking back up, which is good. All right, so I'm glad the volatility is pushing up. It's a good thing. All right. See, Omar is asking, Apex allows us to be in positions while news runs, right? Because I remember you saying a lot of the BB3s come up around news time. Yeah, they do. They don't care about news. As long as you're not as long as you're not just a news trader. So if you only trade news, then yeah, that's a problem. But they don't care if you trade news. Like you can trade news all you like. All right, if this candle here closes red, we're gonna have a double body right here, it looks like. All right, we may have the double body right here. We got 20 seconds left. The ATR is not super great, but it's decent. This candle has to close red. If it doesn't close red, there's no double body there. And of course it doesn't. Man, this is like I think this is one of the most frustrating weeks that we've had in a while because the market's not really doing too much. But this happens, right? You guys got to keep in mind that, it doesn't matter. The market's not always going to be perfect. So for the entire month of March, basically the first 3 weeks of March was perfect. We had straight wins, back-to-back wins, no losses for like, I think 12 days. And now the market just got kind of stale. You're going to get some weeks like this where the market's just kind of stale. And it's really key that you guys stick to your trading plan, right? Because what happens with a lot of people during this here, what happens with a lot of people is like when the market starts to kind of not move in the direction that you're looking for or that you're wanting it to move in, people start to change strategies, right? That happens all the time. I see so many people where like their strategy is like killing it for like weeks after weeks after weeks. And then in 1 week, their strategy is just kind of flat and it's not showing up. And they go to a completely different strategy. And then what happens from there, they start to go into a losing streak, right? So what I recommend, guys, is just follow your trading plan. Follow your trading plan, give it at least a month. If after a month your strategy or your trading plan is not working, or it's just not showing any entries, then at that point, okay, make some changes. But don't change anything just because the market's kind of flat or it's kind of slow or it's just not giving you good entries or you just lose a lot for a week. Because sometimes the market's just like that. The conditions will change and it'll bounce back in your favor eventually. It's just a matter of time until it does. But yeah, this week's been super frustrating because the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months actually have been very volatile. So it's been like super easy to catch these entries. And for this week specifically, it's been like super slow. So we have a double body right here, guys. This could be setting up for our entry. Again, we just got to sit tight and wait for this momentum to come up. Hey, what's up, Alpine? Alpine said, yo, I got the Apex 80%, stuck with setting up NinjaTrader, no experience with it at all. Yeah, so if you go to FAQs, I'll pull it up after because we're looking for the intro here, Alpine. But if you go to the FAQs on Apex, just go to Apex website and then click on FAQs and then type in NinjaTrader, and it'll give you a detailed run through of like how to do it. Let's see. So you're trying to connect Apex accounts for copy trading. Which copy are you using? Are you using Replicano? Because that's the one that we use. Because if you're using a different one, I can't really help with that. But if you're using Replicano, then I could help with that because that's what we use. All right, no sell signal yet. I mean, price, the ATR is super low. As you guys can see, the ATR is currently at 12 right now. Super low. If you're using TradeObate, then you're not using NinjaTrader because those are two different platforms, Alpine. So, I mean, if you're using TradeObate, then you'd be using the group copier. And there's videos for that too on Apex. All right, so this higher high pretty much got taken off. It's pushed up higher. But yeah, Alpine, if you're using TradeObate, you use a group copier. There's a bunch of videos. There's a lot of videos actually on YouTube that you can see that'll show you how to use it. I don't use that anymore. I used that initially, but I don't like it because you can't set an automatic TP stop loss. So you have to manually get in and out of the position. It works fine, but I just don't like using it. So let's see, Alpine said he took the BB3 10 lot positions, but it closed only part of the position. Yeah, I'm not sure why it would do that. The only reason that your position would close is if you would have blown an account. Yeah, no problem, Alpine. You're all over the place, bro. So Alpine said he was having problems with NinjaTrader, but then now he's using TradeObate, but now you're using Sierra charts. Those are all different platforms, Alpine. So I think you got to decide on what platform you actually want to use. And then each platform has its own copier. So it depends on what you're using. It is because each one has its different copier. Like for NinjaTrader, I use Replicano. For people who use Tradeovate, it's a group copier. If you use Sierra charts, that one's even totally different as well. If you use Quant Tower, that one's different. Every platform has like their own copier system. So yeah, once you figure out which system you want to use, then I could probably help you a little further. But until then, just gotta choose one. All right, we have the double bottom, I mean, sorry, double top rejection right here. Not double top, but the double body. Again, we're looking for a sell signal here. If we get that sell signal, we can possibly look for entry. But again, there's nothing here at the moment. Yeah, no problem, Alpine. Once you get that figured out, come back and I can help you with it. Or you can pop into the chat too. So if you're on the Discord, just pop into the team chat. And there's different people who use different platforms. So depending on which one you use, I can find a video for you. There's like a YouTube video for everything. That's how I learn. But yeah, once you figure that out, let us know. All right, we have a sell signal here that's currently pending. We need it to close first. Once it closes, we'll start looking for opportunity for entry. But again, we will see here if it actually comes down. Bluebird is asking, do you think the news today is making market slow? No, I don't think so. Well, the fact that there is no news, then yeah, that could be the case because there's no catalyst in the market. But I don't think the news from 7:30, the gas stocks, I don't think that's what's making it slow. I don't think it even had an effect in the market, really. The news from right there was flat. So the news right here at 7:30, it was kind of mixed, positive, negative, and then for the most part, it's flat. The gas stock change doesn't really make a big difference in the market. It only happens when there's something going on. Like if there's OPEC going on, right? The OPEC meeting is going on, then yeah, the gas stock does matter because it's a gas meeting. But OPEC isn't this week or this month or whatever, maybe. I mean, I think it happens every month, but there's no OPEC right now. So the gas stocks don't really make a difference. Unless there's like a war in the Middle East, having to deal with oil, then yeah, if there's some sort of argument going on in the Middle East or anywhere that has oil, then yeah, the gas stocks would have an effect, but for the most part, not really. Just from my personal experience. All right, so this market sucks. There is no double body there anymore. Double body is pretty much invalidated. And we're back to ground. It's the ground we're just waiting. So we're looking for that double body to show up somewhere. Let's look at sentiment. Sentiment's pretty much falling off a little bit. It's dropped to 73%. I don't think there's really many retail traders who are really going in and out of the market anyways. It's kind of just a lot of long holders. Yeah, Josh, the paint will dry. Yeah, it really will. It will. Just got to give it some time. We got to give it some time, but the time's running out. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. So same situation. Sadie said, I think one of the market makers is sitting with us. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. It's probably Sisuk, huh? Sisuk in here. Sisuk's not here today. Sisuk's probably sleeping. Probably knew the market was going to be slow today. He's taking a nap. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Josh said this week has been good for discipline and learning. Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, I think this week there hasn't been too many entries for us to take personally because we're looking for the breakout V3. But I think this week has taught a lot of people about discipline. Thankfully, I don't really have much loss for this week so far. I only have that one trade on Monday off one account. Also, Replicano updated there's an update for it. That freeze that happened on Monday was actually a real issue. So they updated the copier. Just a heads up if you guys haven't updated yours. But yeah, like William said over here, Josh said, you can't click and hope because what kind of strat is that? Just because your board doesn't validate you click. Yeah, 100%. You got to have some sort of strategy if you're entering a trade. Omar is asking what ATR indicator is that. The ATR down here is the trailing stop indicator. So it's one of the K2 indicators. So just go to the trailing stop indicator right here, Omar, or go to indicators, go to invite only, go to the trailing stop right here. Click on that. Once you click on that, go to your settings. If you turn it on, it's going to have like all these lines on here. Just go to style and turn off the trailing lines. So yeah, you turn those off, and then your ATR would be down below. So you can choose where you want it. So the ATR location, I have it bottom center. I think by default it's bottom right or top center. I just keep it at bottom center. It's easier for me to see. That's where you get that. All right, the volatility is starting to pick up a little bit. We don't have any double body, double wicks. We finally got the sell signal here, but it was kind of useless for the most part. As you can see right here, didn't really do anything. Price is really just sitting in between so here's the clean chart. Price is now pretty much just sitting in between the opening price. So this is now the new range. As you guys can see, price faked out above, came back down. And this is the range area right here. Ah, man. Super frustrating to be on the charts for this long and not have an entry. But it's okay. Like I said, like Josh said and William said, today's market is well, this whole week is good for really discipline and consistency, because I haven't taken any trades. There's been a lot of good trades that have come up. The PRB came up, a lot of different scalps came up. But according to our discipline, I got to stick to my trading plan, which is the BB3 only. Kind of forces you to control your trade psychology so you don't hop into random trades. Like Steven from this morning, that was a random trade he took. He was supposed to take the DB3, but that guy couldn't wait. I already knew he was going to take one of the other entries. I talked to Steven last night. Steven said that he was only going to take the BB3s, and he took the PRB. And luckily it hit for him, but he's not following his trading plan. So I mean, I don't hope any bad on anybody's accounts, but if he keeps it up, it's not going to end well, because he doesn't have a trading plan. He's kind of just hopping into different entries that he sees on here, which is fine because I'm analyzing it. At least he's not hopping into like random stuff, but he is hopping into trades that he didn't plan to hop into. Let's see. Yeah, Patricia said it's going to be slow tomorrow. Let's check the news for tomorrow. Well, I don't know if it'll be slow tomorrow because there's a lot of news pre-market. There's a lot of news actually. So we have a lot of high impact news pre-market right here. And then we have some high impact news. I think the market's actually going to be pretty busy tomorrow, Patricia, because we do have consumer sentiment tomorrow. This usually causes price to spike. We have GDP. This causes price to spike as well. Jobless claims as well. This is all prepping for. But I just realized. So this is a week before NFP. If you guys have been trading with me for a while, the week before NFP is usually a slow week. Like just historically, if you guys have traded with me like over the years, you guys know that the week before NFP is typically a slow week. If you guys have used to follow me when I traded forex, it was the same thing. Like the week before NFP, there was like 1 week out of every month where we just wouldn't have any trades. And this seems like this is this week. Because back then I used to trade forex on like the 4-hour time frame, and I used to call signals, and there's always 1 week that had like maybe 1 trade or 0 trades, and it was this week. It's the week before NFP. Usually the week before NFP is kind of slow and it's rangy, because when NFP comes out next week, you're gonna have some crazy volatility. Like if you guys have been trading me for a while, that's typically how the market would work. There's usually like 1 week, which is super crazy, which is NFP. NFP is either going to be really slow or really fast. And then the second week is usually going to be kind of like stable. The third week is going to be usually more rangy, starting to consolidate. And then the fourth week, right before the next NFP, following month is going to be kind of slow because everyone kind of just calms down for a little bit and then it picks back up the next week. So it's kind of how like it's kind of how like I mean it's just if you trade it for long enough, you'll see these patterns happen pretty much every every year or every month. Let's see, HP said are the two main setups only good until 8 o'clock? Which two main setups are you talking about, HP? Because there's only one main setup, which is the BB3. I'm not sure which is the other one you're talking about. Yeah, because I've only been taking the BB3 for, I mean, this whole month. So there's really only one setup that we're looking for, which should be the BB3. The PRB, it cuts off at 7. So the cutoff for the PRB is at 7, because this is like, it's a strategy that happens at the beginning. So the cutoff for the PRB is 7 o'clock, but for the BB3, it's 8 o'clock. Usually the PRB will happen before that. I think from all the testing, it just never happens after 7. So that's usually the cutoff. And the only bad trades that I saw from the PRB is after 7, because that's where the volatility is super dead. All right, we got 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes for an entry to come up, hopefully. But we'll see what happens next. Let's see. All right, let's see. Alpine said, sorry, but let me ask one last one. Do you know if it's possible to trade Apex accounts on Sierra charts? I couldn't find any help from Apex. I don't think so. Well, it depends on like, I've actually never used Sierra charts, so I'm not sure exactly how it would work. If there's another, like if you can link Rhythmic or NinjaTrader to, or Tradeovate to Sierra, then yeah, you could probably use it. But yeah, I've never used Sierra. I know of Sierra, I've heard of it, but I've never used it before. So unless there's a way to connect Rhythmic or Tradeovate or NinjaTrader to Sierra, then possibly. I mean, it can act as a middle, like a third party platform in between. It's kind of like how Quant Tower works, right? Like Quant Tower, they don't talk about Quant Tower in with Apex, but you can use Quant Tower to log into multiple Rhythmics. Because technically you can only log into one Rhythmic through regular Rhythmic. So I think you're better off just emailing them, Alpine. Because if you ask other people, they're probably not going to have a straight answer for you. But I think if you just email Apex, they'll like literally tell you. They'll just tell you upfront, like if it works or not. So you can go to contact and then just send them an email or send them a message, ask them if Sierra works, and they'll give you a tutorial for it. Yeah, no, that's probably the best option for you, because I wouldn't take advice from like random people who like don't have a straight answer, because it's gonna be hard to find one, especially if it's not widely used. Cool. Yeah. So Patricia here actually answered your question. She said, yes, connect your Rhythmic username and password for Sierra. Okay. So I guess it does work, Alpine. And I do think Patricia knows what she's talking about. So oh, so it looks like Brock there knows too. But yeah, I guess you can log in through Rhythmic. All right, so we have a double body right here. If price doesn't push down any lower, this could be the zone that we're looking for, and price can push back up. If it doesn't, then we might not get an entry today. 7:52 right now. It's 8 minutes till 8. So we're getting closer and closer to off time. The ATR is also pretty low right now. Akil's asking, does price always go back to open? Not always. I mean, it happens pretty often, but not always. You could ask you could ask people who used to apply the back to open strategy. The back to open strategy was it was good until it wasn't, right? Not one of my strategies, but the BTO was good until it wasn't because everyone thought that okay, price would always go back to open until it didn't, and they just kept blowing accounts. So it doesn't always go back to open, but there's time periods where it does. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, I mean, it's like a 50-50 strategy too. I guess if you just wanted to catch trades back to open, you could, but you'd have to stick to the trading plan. But yeah, some people would just they would abuse it too much. They would think that price would go back to open every single time, and then they would just go crazy over leveraging back to open. And it just doesn't always work. Just like our strategy here, right? For the BV3, it's not always going to be 100%. We had a long win streak of like 11 wins. And then now it's kind of just going back to normal. The normal rate for the BV3 is a +1 net win ratio. So we're kind of back to how it should be. Okay, so we have a pending buy signal right here. Got to close though. Yeah, Bluebird City, that's what I meant. It's slow because of NFP next week. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, you're kind of like you thought the same thing I thought. It's normal for market to be slow before NFP week, and then NFP week ends up being super crazy, like super volatile, super all over the place. And that's kind of typical for what we're used to. All right, so this is actually really good because this is like a double body or a double bottom right here. You have a double bottom rejection from here and right here. So if this here closes with a buy signal, this could be a nice setup if we get the BV3 following here. All right, so if this candle here closes green, this is going to be the breakout B3. Again, you got to wait for it to actually close because the market here is super slow. ATR is currently at 10. But we do have a double bottom rejection right here. So this is actually a pretty nice entry if it does close green. Again, it has to close green. And you just have to wait for it. It's got 40 seconds left on this candle. It's got some time. It's got a lot of time, actually. 25 seconds. 25 seconds with a very slow market. That's 25 seconds going to be like 25 minutes at this point. Got 15 seconds left. Oh God, it's not going to close. All right, so I think there's no entry for today, guys. All right, unfortunately, no entry again. This is weird. I mean, it's weird that there's no entry for 2 days straight. I mean, it's weird, but it's not weird. It's weird because we're used to seeing entries every day, but it's not weird because this is just the market. It's a slow week. I think this is I mean, this is just a wake-up call, right? It's just a slow week. Because the thing is, the entry could have came up and it could have lost. So I'd rather have no trade than having a loss for today. So I think that's all we got for today, guys. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. It's 7:56 right now. So 4 minutes till 8. Not expecting another entry to come up from now until then. The good thing is that all the other entries are hitting, right? We got 2 liquidities here, full TPs. So we got 2 liquidity pushes right here, both full TPs. We had a pivot scalp, momentum scalp right here, full TP. We had the high-low momentum scalp right here, full TP as well. And then, of course, we had the PRB here with the full TP. This is a thing that I don't want you guys to jump to, right? Because I think this is what happened in February. A lot of people jump ship. They didn't like the PRB, so they stopped trading it. And then what happens is the PRB starts hitting. And then what happens when you start applying the PRB, it stops working, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys have not been taking the PRB, don't just all of a sudden change your mind like, oh, I'm not going to take BB3. I'm going to take PRB now. Because I'm almost guaranteed as soon as you start taking that PRB, it's not going to hit as much as you thought. Because I've seen this happen with a lot of people. This is why I'm sticking to the BB3 because I know it works. But the only problem here is that it's just not coming up right now. It's just kind of flat. I mean, there could be an entry right here, guys. So there might be another entry here. We have a few minutes left if anybody's still looking to get into this BB3. We have another double body right here. If we get a buy signal somewhere here and another green candle, there could be an entry that comes up. So just another heads up as well. Apex is 80% off. Promo is expiring today, guys. So if you guys don't have an Apex account, or you guys want to upgrade, or you guys want to add another account, today's your day. Just a heads up, the 80% off is the 80% off is the best deal that you're going to get. You're going to get a 90% off, but that's only for 1 month. And if you don't pass on in 1 month, it's going to go back to 80% anyways. You're saving like maybe $10. So not a huge deal. So if you guys want to, and I'll post it over in the group, of course. Where did I put it at? Okay. So I'll just post this up over here in case you guys want to use it. That in there. This in the team chat too, just so that you guys can see if you guys missed it. Yeah, just a reminder, guys, if you guys want to, because I don't know what the next one is going to be. I don't know if they're even going to have like 80% off anymore. It's going to expire in 6 hours. Yeah, because 80% is pretty good to have locked in for like future accounts as well, if you want to just keep the 80%. Because they're probably going to go back to 70%, 75%, maybe even drop down to 60, maybe 50. And then, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But all right, guys, I think that's it for today. The entry didn't come up, so unfortunately, this is another day with no trades. Very unusual for us not to have two breakout V3s 2 days in a row. But again, this is just going to teach us more and more about the strategy. We're going to understand what needs to be changed and adjusted. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. Just a reminder, Friday is Good Friday, so we're not going to have mentoring session. We're not going to have a live session. Markets technically closed that day. It might be open for a few hours, but for the most part, volatility is probably going to be very slow because it is a holiday. So I'll see you guys here tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably going to be our last day trading. Hopefully the volatility is going to be higher and we'll be able to take one entry before we wrap it up for the week. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So